talk about the different, jobs that you did in the military in tech, and then, we're gonna, transition to you coming out of the military and then going into the professional world. But talk about the different jobs that you did in tech for the military.
Yeah, man, missile launch systems, working down there in Intel, supporting the war effort. It was incredible. Like some of the technology that was out at that time. You watch Enemy of the State. A lot of people compare it to at that time when that movie was released. That technology already existed. People thought that was like future stuff. Like, nah, it already exists.
Wow.
Uh, but I got help desk, desktop, system admin. They even let me on the firewall. I was doing stuff on the firewalls. Doing updates, data center. Uh, I maintained the whole infrastructure there on the Whiteman Air Force Base while I was there, and so I got to learn it from the ground up, man. And then a lot of people when I hear them talking about, oh, I want to be a network engineer, I'm like, man, are you sure you want to be a network engineer? That's almost a thankless job. Nobody's gonna call you and say, oh man, nothing happened today. We were able to do X, Y, and Z. But also, one of the cool things about being a network engineer is as a network engineer, you're one of the only positions that have to learn a little bit about all the other disciplines. You got to understand network or servers. You got to understand security. You got to understand system administration. You got to understand a little bit about everybody's business. So it's a good place to be to get exposed to different things. Maybe you find an avenue that you really like, better than networking, whether it's programming, system admin, uh, storage, any of that stuff.
I love that. I
So
love
yeah,
that.
yeah, got a lot of exposure being a network engineer in the military.
Wow. Well, that's remarkable. So, obviously, was that the last role that you had before you decided to leave the military?
Yeah, did 6 years and then got out of the military. Man, I was just so tired. I took a few months off. I didn't do anything. I had in the military you won't get rich, but you can save. So I had saved up a pretty good amount of money. So I could just live off of what I saved for a few months. I'm like I wasn't gonna do nothing for at least for a month. I didn't do nothing. I just chill, relax. But after that month, did some more training. Let's see, I went and got a MCP, Microsoft Certified Professional. I think Windows XP was the desktop application at that time, and I renewed my CCNP, and that's when you had to take all four tests to renew. So that was tough. So while I was off, taking some time off, I took a month off, and then I started getting back you know into tech.
And
So
talk about this, Damien. Like, so did you know, obviously coming out of the military as a network engineer, did you kind of have an idea, knowing you were coming out of the military, what you wanted to do? Obviously, you took a month off, right? Everybody needs a time to resharpen their saw, especially with a career transition of, not being in the military now, being a civilian and you're going into tech. Did you have any idea what it was that you wanted to do right away, or you kind of were just trying to figure things out?
Uh, as I was getting out, like this was the time when like the .com boom was happening. I heard stories about like Cisco would show up at exam centers and you pass your test, like they would give you a job. And like the numbers they were throwing around, I can't remember what the numbers were, but I was like, damn, that's for doing this. so so I kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna see if I can, see if I can get some of that. And so that I mean, I had been doing it for the past, 5.5 years. So I'm like, might as well keep doing it. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
So that was the. It wasn't really a lot of forethought and direction. It was this is what I've been doing. I heard people make money at it. Let's get it.
I love it. I love it. Not trying to reintroduce or restart something, right? Like a lot of times, I think people find, or first of all, based on my experience in coaching, folks coming out of the military, a lot of times the transition can be very difficult.
Oh
But
yeah,
it sounds like if you are in tech in the military, the transition can be a lot easier because you're gaining the skills while you're in the military that makes that allows you to come out with an ability to get a tech job. And
Yeah.
you came through the .com era, which was, they were paying big dollars, and, tech was really getting its, funding and so forth. And it sounds like was saying, you know what, if these guys are getting paid like this, I'm gonna stay the course, right? I'm gonna stay the course, and continue down that path, and that's what you did.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I wanted to get some of what everybody else was getting, like you know, you got to get it while the getting is good.
I love
So
that. I love that.
I knocked out those two certs. Redid the CCNP and got a MCP from Microsoft, and then I started looking for roles. And the first, I got told no a few times. Like being told no was, it was hard to get used to at first. I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to give me this role? Or it was just something that I guess I haven't experienced before. So man, it hurt. It hurt to have it, knowing that you got the skills and people are like, nah, we're gonna pass on you. Like, what do you mean pass on me? So the first company that hired me out of the military was Halliburton.
Wow.
And they brought me in as a contract. I was on a 1-year contract, and about as I guess maybe arrogant or confident I was at that time. 20s. I'm with it. But usually they hire you on for a year, and then they start doing negotiations to bring you on full time. But 6 months in, I was tapping my manager like, "Hey, y'all gonna do something? Because if not, I'm gonna start looking elsewhere." It was so funny. I had no, that's just how I roll, man. Like, I'm not gonna wait 2 years. It's like, no, we're gonna talk about this now. So, man, in about 7 months, they brought me on
Wow.
early. And I guess, it was kind of a new thing for them. I was like, look, y'all ain't gonna do something, then I'm gonna start. I told them, like, I'm gonna start looking elsewhere at 6 months. So they brought me about 7 months in. They brought me on permanent. Got hired, level 1 network engineer. Worked the North America team, and then as my manager, I started taking on more and more stuff. And I'm innately an organized person, so the way I do work, I didn't realize it was project management. Like if I'm gonna do something, like I'm gonna sit down and plan it. Where am I getting my equipment? Who do I need to help me, and come up with a calendar for all my tasks and stuff. So project management was I didn't even realize I was doing project management. So he liked the way I work, so I would start helping other people on the team and managing their projects. And that saved him a lot of money because he didn't have to reach out to the PMO organization to bring in project managers because I was already doing it on the team. Like I had the skill and the knack for it. So then I started doing a bunch of design work, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this is beyond level 1 stuff. So it's about maybe another year in, and I go to my manager, with a package like, hey, this is what I've been doing. Been doing incredible work, managing projects, designing stuff. I'm like, we don't need to do something here about this level 1 engineer. I'm way past, level 1. I'm doing stuff that the team lead is also doing. So we talked about it. He's like, I don't think I can do anything right now. I was like, cool, that's fine, but I'm letting you know that I'm looking for to be compensated for what I'm doing. So man, it was maybe a month later after we had that conversation. Calls me in his office. He lets me know like, hey, you're gonna be promoted, and I was promoted to level 3 engineer. Skip right over level 2 because I was already doing the work.
And Damion, you know what? I'm going to pause you right there because you have really dropped a significant gem. You dropped a significant gem just now. And the reason why I'm going to pause you because I kind of talked about this yesterday in yesterday's live stream while I was, on a boat and talking about like how you can fast track your career.